So today we're going to rebuild the Giants after signing Blake Snell in a pretty kind of like the cherry on top of the Sunday for their offseason. What an offseason they had. Blake Snell, Young-Hoo Lee, Matt Chapman, Jorge Soler, Jordan Hicks, and Robbie Ray. Yes, Robbie Ray is going to miss a majority of the year rehabbing from Tommy John, but still, that's a good offseason. Some good pitching, some power bats, just a good, well-rounded offseason to compete with the Dodgers, the Diamondbacks, the Padres. I like the moves they made, and I like that they're still aggressive, even missing out on Correa and Judge in previous seasons. So with that being said, let's get these Giants back on top of the West, back on top of MLB. Let's go win them a World Series. I am using a new roster, so if you're looking for one, it is on screen now. I found it recently came out. It adds a lot of the prospects. It keeps up to date with the transactions. So we'll see how it plays out. So talking about this team, it may not perform well in MLB this show, just because some of the players don't play well in the game. But Blake Snell, we know is a good pitcher. MLB the show, he's not always a good pitcher, so fingers crossed we get a little lucky there, but I think this was a really good pickup for the Giants. Yes, there is an opt-out after the first year, so there is that potential that he does leave, but the Giants could also just try to bring him back on a longer-term deal to prove that, hey, we want him within the organization. Logan Webb's a solid pitcher. Jordan Hicks, we'll see how that experiment works, bringing him back into the rotation. Kyle Harrison, young, exciting arm, and then Robbie Ray obviously rehabbing from Tommy John, but we'll throw him in for this. Or I guess we could. Did Keaton Winn, that's supposed to be the other pitcher, why is he so low rated? I guess I could like go with a different pitcher, but I'm so thin on pitching. And is Robbie Ray really gonna move the needle that much? You know what I mean? Maybe Keaton Winn should be a little bit higher rated, but I really don't want to inflate overalls to start a rebuild. So we're going to leave it as is. Alex Cobb is going to be our long reliever. And then this is currently our bullpen. Kind of the best I could assemble with the roster that I was given. So Camilo Doval, one of the better closers in baseball. I think they've got a good little mix of players here. Offensively, this is what I'm going to rock with. Young-Hoo Lee was hitting the ball hard in spring. I want to see how he does throughout the regular season. I'm excited for him. I actually think he looks to be a good ball player. Tyro Estrada had a good stretch last year, so we'll see what he can do in another season. Matt Chapman, solid third baseman. Soler, power. You've got Yastrzemski. Nick Ahmed is definitely just a bridge shortstop until Luciano's ready. Lamont Wade Jr., Sable, and Conforto. Patrick Bailey, I definitely want to get into the team some more. Wilmer Flores is a solid bat for the team. And then if we just quickly kind of just talk about a couple prospects, we have Luis Matos, who I know had some MLB time last season. We'll definitely call him back up once we start trading away some players, opening up some more guaranteed play time for him. Rainer Arias as well. We'll see how he develops. Elliot Ramos really hasn't lived up to the hype. Could potentially be a trade piece for us. Luciano's kind of the main position player I'm keeping my eye on. I really want to get him into this rebuild. And if we take a look at some of the other guys, Joey Bart never really lived up to the hype either, so probably going to be a trade piece. I've moved Reggie Crawford from a reliever to a starter. That's why his overall has jumped up. Will he ever make the team? I don't know, but I want to see if we can make him a two-way player. So let's see what we can do. Obviously, Carson Wisenhunt or Wisenhunt. I always forget the last name there, but he's another top prospect for the Giants. And then you've got Sean Jelly, a little bit older, not necessarily a prospect, but the height excites me. And I also know how to say his name, even though it's definitely harder than Carson's. So there's that. So let's see what this team plays like. We're currently ranked 18th. I'll see you guys at the draft. Okay, so we have the 13th pick. And as I was scouting, I missed a couple players that I kind of like the looks of, and I will show you who they are. Where are they? It was Lester Beavers. First off, crazy name, but he looks really good. I don't know if he's gonna be good. I obviously didn't scout him. I missed him. I prioritized other ones. Phil Hopper is another one. 31 on the MLB board, but we have him at 17 is interesting. I know we have 13 for a pick, but a really good second baseman is not a bad thing. Plus he's 6'3". It doesn't really look like he has power, which is unfortunate, but these two guys could end up being like really good in the draft, and I just totally missed on them. Like Dane Street looks kind of decent. I could definitely pick him. Or Oliver Ibar. Holy cow. He also looks really good. Potential's a little bit lower, but he's a little bit older or potential's a little bit lower. He is a little bit older, so his overall is a little bit higher. So this is one that's a little bit closer to being MLB ready. And if you look at our outfield, we have Young Hoo Lee, and then we have an aging Conforto, aging Yastrzemski, aging Soler, aging Austin Slater. We do need a young outfielder to help us out, along with Luis Matos. So taking someone that is close to MLB ready isn't the worst thing. So that's why I'm kind of interested in one of these outfielders. It just really depends on who's available when we go to pick. The rest are pitchers, just because those are kind of what's available at the, around where I was kind of drafting. So let's just see what happens. You never know. Someone could fall to us, which would be crazy. So the number one pick is going to be Chuck Whitman. Like I said, didn't even scout him. Just too high rated on the board. Really no point in even kind of picking, a scouting report on him. The number one pick or number one player on the board goes to the Reds and Bobby Fielder. And then another long-haired player is going to be Jordan Messer, pitcher, kind of on my radar, just in case he did fall a couple spots. But let's see how the draft plays out. And we are going to get one of our outfielders. Okay, we could take Ibar. I did throw Beavers on the list just in case we want to just take a shot in the dark. The issue I have with Ibar is he does have an opted out doctor exam, so there is a chance that he is injured, but at the same time, he might not be. Or we take Josh Dell, who isn't ranked by MLB at all, but we have him at 10. My thought process is, do we need pitching right now, or could we use an outfield prospect that's kind of close to being MLB ready? Even if he's in the mid 80s for overall, I think he could be good for us. I think the bat is going to be good right now. I kind of want to risk it with Lester Beavers, but I think it's too much of a risk. Let's take Ibar and hope that Dell is available for our next pick at 50. Is he? He is. Perfect. That's a good 1-2 right there. I'm at the deadline. I need pitching. I need a little bit of pitching. You can see we're pretty far behind the Dodgers, but we are in the wild card race. But I really need some pitching. Hicks is struggling, just the whole bottom of my rotation struggling. A couple arms in the bullpen are struggling too. So I really need that. Offensively, we're okay. I think we're competitive enough. There's a couple bad numbers there, but I feel like we're looking pretty good. I'm gonna put Wilmer Flores in to start full time now, but just looking at it, I definitely think we need some changes. Marco Luciano, I think I'm gonna let him finish in AAA. Just for now. I do like the progression that he's done. I'm just looking at those hitting numbers. Those attributes just aren't high enough yet. He's doing well in AAA too. Let's let him finish the season there. Luis Matos is struggling a little bit. Elliot Ramos is having an okay season. I'm going to cash in while I can, while he's doing well. Joey Bart's not doing well. Potential also went down. So I'm going to see if I can maybe get a reliever for him. And I think that's really about it. I think that's it. So let's go see what's on the block really quick. See what I can work up. A Matt Strahm expiring contract might not be too bad. Do we need a lefty? How are our lefties doing? I do want to get rid of Taylor Rogers because of this contract. I am going to get Matt Strahm. And they do want Rogers, and they're willing to give me a little bit more, which is even better. That's huge. I'm just going to take whatever I can get here. Maybe nothing. Maybe they don't have anything that I want, really. Woo! Teams look a little thin on the depth here. Holy cow. I don't really want Edmundo Sosa. I don't really want Castro either. Casey Martin, no. Starling Caba. I guess we pick up a prospect and then we just throw in Joey Bart. Oh, Joey Bart might be able to get me Edmundo Sosa, and he could just be a bench. You know what? Let's leave it like this. Strahm for Rogers, lefty for lefty. Let's keep it simple. Keep it simple, stupid. That's what I'm trying to say. Let's get another reliever just because we need a little bit of help here. I saw Phil Maton, I think it's Maton, on the block, but I'm looking to see if there's anything else. The amount of times the Brewers offered me Javi Milner in trades, unbelievable. I think it was every 3 trades, 3 trade offers I got was Javi Milner. It was ridiculous. It was crazy how many times they were trying to send him to me. It was unbelievable. I don't want him. Just keep him. So let's see if we can find another reliever that can join us. I really want to try out Abner Uribe this year, but I've always seen him do so poorly, which is super unfortunate. Let's see here. Anybody else that like just looks like, you know what? We haven't tried them out. Let's see if they're any good. Let's see here. Like, is Trevor Rogers good? He doesn't look great. He doesn't look great. What are the contracts? No contract options? I might make this happen. Let's see. Who else was somebody that I was looking to potentially cash in on while I could? Elliot Ramos? Maybe that's, yeah, maybe a little too much to give up. Maybe, let's see. Like Spencer Howard. Are we using Spencer Howard ever? Probably not. Probably not. And again, probably a little bit more than what we should give up, but that's okay. We can go down here, like look at some of these other players that are chilling on the bench or played how many games? 100 games, 90 games, 85. That's crazy. I think I'm going to take Jesus Sanchez here, and I'm going to make this possible. What I am going to have to do is give up Conforto, which is perfectly fine. His contract's expiring. This is the trade I'm going to do. Jesus Sanchez, and Trevor Rogers for Joey Bart, Spencer Howard, and Michael Conforto. I'm in. All right, I'm going to pick up Graham Ashcraft of the Reds for Alex Cobb. He's regressing so heavily. I don't think he's going to be usable by the end of the year. We'll pick up a guy that has a little bit of upside and could just be like back end of the rotation, long reliever. I think it'll be fine. All right, Luke Jackson, Elliot Ramos, and Donovan Walton are going to give me Hunter Harvey and Yohandy Morales. We'll see what happens. See potential, third baseman, and then I really just wanted the reliever here. Help us out in the bullpen. We need one more good one. Luke Jackson's got a 2-year deal. Don't want it. He is struggling. Let me show you really quickly. He's regressing, and he's got a 5 ERA. Can't be having that. So after the moves, this is what we've got going on. I think the pitching is going to let us down. My thing is just like, I didn't want to like get rid of Kyle Harrison. We still have Robbie Ray for what, 2 more years? Probably gonna have to trade him at some point. Ashcraft can come in, help us out. We're gonna still try the experiment with Jordan Hicks. At least I'll try it one more season. Like I'll try next year, see how he does. If it doesn't work out, maybe we'll try him bullpen again. Tristan Beck, I know becomes a good reliever, so I'm gonna stick with him. And then you can kind of see the rest of the bullpen that we got. I think the bullpen's good enough. I definitely think we need to hope that our pitching gets better. We've got 2 really good at the top of the rotation. It's just like realistically what I'm thinking is Hicks moves back to the bullpen, Ashcraft or Robbie Ray moves to long relief, and then we go out and get a really good starter for the time being in the rotation until one of like Weisenhunt or like Hayden Birdsong are ready. So we'll see what happens. And then lineup wise, this is currently what I've got going on with Jesus Sanchez now in the lineup, and then Luciano I think could be close to being ready, but let's give him the everyday time in AAA for the rest of the season. So let's go see what our draft picks look like. So it's time to find out, did we make the right decision? Should we have should we have drafted Beavers or the other guy? 85 potential, 73 overall is not bad. 73 overall is pretty good. Good hitting stats, lacking some power, but good fielding, good speed. You know what? As a safe pick, I'm in. That's pretty good. Beat potential for Josh Dell, which was a great 2nd round pick. I don't like that the hits per 9 and the Ks per 9 are low, so he's giving up a lot of hits and not striking out anybody, but he doesn't walk anybody. So there's some upside there. We've got, Guy Unger. He's in the team. We got Pedro Parra and then Tim Worley, who was a guy I didn't have scouted at all. I just took a shot on him. C potential, 75 overall. That's fine. And then Will Bundy with B potential. Not bad. So Lester Beavers had 83 potential. So I actually think we made the right decision. More potential and also higher overall by quite a bit. I'm pretty happy with that. All right, season 1, we clinched the playoffs. We are a postseason team through the wild card. 85-77, taking on the Phillies. So a tough matchup, and I'm just gonna say it. Pitching definitely let us down. This is probably what I'm gonna rock in the postseason, which means someone was sent down. Yohandy should not be called up. He was not part of my roster. So, they sent down Murphy. I like those numbers versus lefties. So what I'll do here is I'll just send down him. And I think that was really it. Like Schmidt was bad, so I'm not going to use him. David Villar, maybe we'll call him up next year. And then Ahmed got sent down, which is fine. I think we rock with Luciano. He only hit 250, but he had a 341 on base percentage. So the September call up, let's rock with him for the postseason. And I think that'll be it. I didn't call up Matos. He really struggled this year in AAA. So we'll hold off for there. We'll quickly take a look at our team rankings, kind of where we sat as a team. And batting average wise, 12th. Okay. For runs, we were Ooh, a little low. 23rd for runs. So offensively, we really weren't good. Low for offense. What about team ERA? We are 13th. So we're a top half pitching team, which surprisingly, I thought our pitching was one of the weak spots. And in actuality, it was our offense that was kind of lackluster. Awards really quickly. We've got Alonso and Jordan as the MVPs. Okay, Pete Alonso, I see you just beating out Shohei. Cy Young went to Spencer Strider and Garrett Cole. Jordan won the batting title along with Orlando Arcia. Okay. Evan Phillips and Clase are your relievers of the year. Sano, rookie of the year. Okay. Yeah, rookie of the year with 8 years of MLB service time. For sure. Totally makes sense. And then Yamamoto won it on the other side. So, okay. Interesting for sure. Hold on. I need to see that. Is that the actual Jordan Walker in the game? It can't be because he would have had his 2023 stats there. So maybe that is something to consider, that Jordan Walker isn't the actual Jordan Walker that's in game, because you would have seen the 2023 stats there. So maybe with this roster, there are a couple iffy things there. League leaders, I know some of you have been asking about those. We'll quickly fly through them, see if anybody really stands out. Apparently Orlando Arcia is like crazy. Okay, interesting. 43 doubles for Ruiz. Is Ruiz good in this one? Not really. Home runs, it was Alonso and Judge. RBIs went to Seager and Acuna. And really quickly, just kind of ERA-ish. Where are we looking? Saves for Alvarado and Clase. Cole had the best ERA. Joe Ryan, okay. And Zach Wheeler was lights out. Wow, so was Jordan Hicks and Matt Waldron. Okay, I see you guys. All right, lineup wise, let's start with pitching. Let's kind of take a look at the team. So like I said, Jordan Hicks, I knew he was going to struggle. Let's see how he does one more season. Let's give him another chance. Man, that contract's probably going to hurt us. Ashcraft really struggled. I didn't think he was going to be that bad. So that's a mistake on my part. That's a miss on my part. Hunter Harvey, solid. I definitely want to keep him. We've got arbitration for one more season. Tyler Rogers, we'll see. Like, we've got arbitration, but like I don't really know how he'll hold his rating, if he'll be good. So he's kind of like a game time decision if we re-sign. Ryan Walker got called up for, what's his name? Tristan Beck. How did he do? Ooh, potential went down. No. He's one of my favorite relievers to pick up, and he lets me down this year. Oh, in this rebuild. So, okay. I still think we got to go with the higher rated for the postseason, just for the postseason. But we'll keep Walker on our radar for sure, especially if Tristan Beck just isn't going to be as good in this rebuild. Amir Garrett, though, was fantastic, surprisingly. Matt Strom was very good in this setup role. I signed him to a 2-year club option, just shy of $6 million for each season, so we'll see how he does moving forward. And then, of course, Duvall, definitely want to keep him as long as possible. Blake Snell was actually good. I'm really happy with that. So we've got one more year of him. Probably going to try to extend his contract, because that's the whole point of rebuilding the Giants right now. Logan Webb was good, along with Kyle Harrison. Okay, Kyle Harrison, not bad. Robbie Ray, we'll see how he does. Let's see how he does next year. Man, 2 more years of the contract though. And then I called up Trevor Rogers to start a little bit, be a long reliever. This is what we got out of him. But I definitely think this spot, the 5 spot, is going to be an area where we definitely need somebody, hopefully a righty. Like Ashcraft clearly is not going to work out, but who did we trade from? Alex Cobb. So like, it's a miss, but like at least we gave it a shot, right? We still made the postseason. It'll be okay. On the bench, yikes. From Wade Jr., Austin Slater hits lefties very, very well. It really just depends on how much money he wants for next season. I would like to bring him back. I just can't pay a lot for him. Bailey was not great versus lefties, and that's kind of like what I'm looking for from him. He is improving though, so let's see how it works out. Murphy was here for another season. No way. That's, well, I mean, it's not a lot of money. It's $4 million, but that's still like $4 million I could use on a reliever. $4 million I could use on a different bench bat. Young Hoo Lee was solid. 350 on base percentage, 286 average, just shy of an 800 OPS. Tyro Estrada, not bad. The OPS is a little low because of the on base percentage, but not a bad season. Chapman's regressing. Oh no. Oh no. Soler hit 29 home runs, which is fine. We've got him for 2 more years. Just hold your rating, please. Yastrzemski's also regressing, and that's kind of why I want to pick up some of these younger players, because I know we're going to need some replacements with the squad being a little bit older. Luciano had a 340 on base percentage. We talked about him. He was good. Flores continues to be just a really good like platoon player for franchise, and we've got him for 1 more season, which is perfect. Blake Sable versus righties was pretty solid, and then Jesus Sanchez, I think he can hold it down for left field for now, especially versus righties. Versus lefties, maybe Luis Matos is the replacement for Slater if need be, so we could do that. Also, we don't have an extra infielder, so maybe Murphy does leave for that extra infielder. And if we're looking for a lefty bat, I guess David Villar is that guy, or Matos. We need the infielder, so let's get rid of Tom Murphy and we'll rock with David Villar. Okay, postseason time actually is our lineup. Nope, our lineup's good. So let's see what we can do against the Phillies. How are we gonna look? All right, never mind. We didn't look at all. We shut up, got rocked, and it's over. The Braves defeat the Rays in the 2024 World Series. Speaking of the Rays, I do need to show you something. Let me show you. Where are the Rays? They went out and got themselves a little Jackson Holiday. So that happened. They traded Fairbanks and Taj Bradley, I believe was the trade. I think that was the trade. I mean, we could just look. Fairbanks, Taj Bradley. That was the trade. So let me know your thoughts about that. Is that a good trade? Would you have done it? I don't know. Exclusive negotiations. Slater just wanted a slight pay bump. $5 million. I think that's fair. Amir Garrett, I'm really worried about the fact that he is deep potential. I don't know if he's going to do this again. I guess he doesn't want much. $2 million. I think we could work with that. Nick Ahmed can go. I think it's Marco Luciano time. Even though he is not really high rated, I think he can hold it down. I'm going to add a couple guys to the 40 man. Just a couple. We should have just a slight bit of money to play with. 89 in the budget's not great. That could be an issue. We do lose some money next year, but like looking at the Robbie Ray contract, Jordan Hicks, we've got some money in places like I don't think it's great. So I don't really expect us to go big this year, and I think we're kind of looking at the offense that we have. And if I would like to bring in somebody, it would really be to strengthen this rotation. So let's see what we can find. Probably gonna need a bullpen arm too, but don't expect big things. All right, so season 2, here we go. I made a couple changes. We'll start with the lineup here. You probably already see one over there on the bench, but offensively, I didn't really want to change up too much more. I felt like we had a decent offense, even though we really didn't by the stats. Yeah, I brought in Ahmed Rosario just in case, Marco Luciano struggles. We need to send him back down to, kind of sort out a couple things. And for $3 million on a team option, had a terrible season with the Rays, but you know what? It was one of the better, backup middle infielders I could find. Unless I wanted to get Willy Adames, there really wasn't anybody else that was suitable that would help us out. So I felt like, let's just try him, see what happens off the bench. And this is currently what our bench looks like. I definitely can see why our offense is looking a little sus, but I think we'll be okay. I think I want Yastrzemski here, Flores here. I think this is what I want for the team. Again, it's definitely weak. And if you look at some of the names I brought in to help out with the farm system, Joey Loperfido for the Astros. We still have Morales. We still have ER. We still have, most of the guys here. Luis Matos, I do want to get involved. But he just really struggled last year. Let's see what happens moving forward. And then, of course, our player that we drafted, where is he? Is he a center fielder? The arm, not the best reactions either. Maybe a corner. Oh, I guess with the speed, he'd be okay in center field. All right, he's in Double-A. Is he starting in Double-A? Did I miss him in the Double-A lineup? He is not. Let me make sure that actually happens, because that would be terrible for him to just be sitting on the bench in Double-A. I also do need to make sure that our guy here gets to be the DH, which he actually grew quite a bit last year. So we might actually see him at some point. And then looking at pitching now, this is what I've done. Corbin Burnes, honestly not that bad of a deal. $23 million for Corbin Burnes, that's a steal. He's got a 3.20 ERA. Apparently didn't pitch in 2024. Oh, he did pitch. Wait, what's going on? What's going on with the game here? Either way, 2024, Corbin Burnes is here. I think that's a steal. 23 mil, especially because, hold on, what did the Padres pay for Bieber? 21 mil, so a little bit less for Shane Bieber. I feel like that's a pretty good deal that we got. So now we have Snell, Burnes, Webb as a 1-2-3. Kyle Harrison developing, and then that fifth spot, Carson's waiting for it. He's just got to get to that ready spot, or just be ready for MLB time. Ashcraft, yeah, you can start the year in AAA after what you did to me last year. I went out and got Jose Leclerc. He's been a reliever that I've seen do really well. 6.7 mil over 3 years, pretty solid with the team option. I think that's pretty good. Picked up Strom, brought him back. We brought back Garrett, but I did, let Trevor Rogers sit in AAA. He's gonna be our closer. See if we can work on that clutch a little bit more, get him some time there. And yeah, I'm looking at this team going, it's not bad. I actually might take him as a middle reliever just so he can get more innings. And maybe like Walker can go here, and then this can be Win, and we'll rock like that for AAA. But the team looks good. I like it. We're ranked 9th. Budget, we should be okay next year. So we just got to figure out what to do with Blake Snell. I definitely think we should bring him back, but I think if we do that, we got to trade like Robbie Ray at the deadline or something like that. The issue is I don't want to make trades right now because I actually like the team we've put together. I think we should be pretty good to compete. Who's draft? There's a few players that I'm interested in, but we have pick number like 20. So I got to be a little patient, right? Like, I don't really know what to expect. If I could get, not Reed Hoffman, but maybe with someone like Wayland Cortez, he looks really good. Not Stein. Sato looks good. There's a lot of good pitchers like Wallace Cummings. First off, crazy name. But Clarkson, Seamus Clarkson's also a player that I'd consider. Like, I know I'm looking at a lot of outfielders, but I'm looking at some really good players. Spencer Gilboni, he looks good. So there's a two-way player here. I don't think he's gonna be good, but I figured I'd throw him on the list just in case. Just you never know. But there's a lot of good pitchers. There's a lot of good position players that I'm after. So whichever happens when we get to pick 20, let's see what happens. We don't have a second pick because we signed Corbin Burnes. So I got to be really, really smart with our draft. So either way, let's see what happens. The Mets, the Tigers, and then I forgot who has pick number 3. But pick number 1 is Emmett Bone. MLB had him at 5. We have him at 1. So that was a good pick for the Mets, it seems. Number 2 is going to be, Adam Rubio. Didn't scout him. You guys know why I didn't scout him. There was no way I was going to be able to draft him. No point in wasting the time. And then Ray Botts. Ooh, we had him at 30. The Tigers, man. All right, so let's see who's available for us. It looks like there's actually going to be, Spencer Gilboni went. Okay. Oh, he can play second base. Ooh, okay. Looking at this, let's see. Anybody that I wanted? Reed Hoffman, I didn't really expect to get. MLB had him at 12, and we had him at 8. So there was really no chance. Seamus Clarkson went in the top 10? What? Wayland Cortez went too? And I guess just whichever one has the better potential. So one of these two here, is there something that stands out between the two? I think Pedraza is the better player right now. So let's go with Pedraza. Dang, I really wanted one of those outfielders. So the Orioles took the two-way player, which is okay. Again, I don't think he's really going to be like crazy good. It is unfortunate they took him 2 picks before me because I actually was going to take him here in the 3rd round. But it leaves us with 2 good options in Sato or Cummins. I feel like Sato is the better player right now, but I do like the per-9s on Cummins better. So I'm going to see if Sato makes it to us in the next round. Fingers crossed it does. He does. Perfect. We're going to go with him. And that's basically my draft. Okay, so I found the problem with this roster. There's 2 Jordan Walkers. There's the real Jordan Walker, and then there's this Jordan Walker. So there's that. And I realized that because the Cardinals offered me this trade. I don't think I'm going to take it. I don't want Lamont Wade Jr. back, but I don't know if I'm going to take Alec Burleson for him. I'm going to see if I can get somebody else from this team. I don't really know who, though. I would like just like some kind of like like a David VR, someone that could like step in if we really need him to. I could also really use a first baseman for the future, and they don't really have any. So, I mean, I guess I could get Brendan Donovan, but like, I kind of want someone that's like adding some power to the lineup. And with Wilmer Flores contract expiring, he's also regressing slightly. I feel like first base is an area that we need to target, and I don't really think the Cardinals have a first baseman that I want. Like Goldschmidt's good, but it's not somebody that I want. So at the deadline, I feel like that's kind of my target. We're atop the West right now, and it's looking good. Like Wilmer Flores is on the block for me just because I was seeing if I could get anything. Like Wyatt Langford, Riley Green would be great, but like in any of these names, I feel like that's what we're missing. Like a good first baseman, and then looking at the rest of the team, we just kind of need to get a little bit younger. Like Yastrzemski's probably going to need to be replaced. Pitching wise, I think we're fine right now, but I would just like to replace a couple of these guys with some younger players. Luciano got sent down because he was really struggling. He was hitting like, let's see, 214. Yeah, I was gonna say like 230, and like even that was being generous. So let's find a first baseman. Let's find a first baseman and maybe a Yastrzemski replacement. Just because like Slater, Sanchez, and Yastrzemski are all kind of underperforming this year. We need to add a little bit more to the team, even though we're doing so well. I'm calling up the Athletics. I originally wanted Ryan Noda, but the Lamont Wade Jr. for Ryan Noda trade wasn't working. He's actually having a decent season. Is he like the game-changing first baseman I was looking for? No, but be potential. He's 29, team control for a few seasons. Even if he becomes a bench bat for us, I think this is a good trade. We also get a young up-and-coming pitcher in Mason Miller. I know in real life he's coming back from injury. I don't know if he's going to be their closer this year or what. I know they're going to move him into the bullpen, but he's struggling a little bit this season. What's the contract situation? We can throw him in the minor leagues if need be. Jordan Hicks has got to go. Too much money for a player that's pitching a 5 ERA as our long reliever. I can't be doing that. Just didn't work out. All right, I'm going to pick up Julian Merriweather from the Cubs. He was on the trade block. Tyler Rogers is regressing pretty heavily. You can kind of see there's like a +1 and another +1, but everything else is minus. And I'm seeing some -2s. I know it's really difficult to see, but I got to at least try to find somebody that could help us out later on as the season goes, or maybe even next year because he does have arbitration and Rogers becomes a free agent. So he's cheaper and we can keep him for another year in Merriweather. So not a bad trade. And I think that's it for the window. I think we're going to leave it there for the trade deadline. I feel like that's good enough. I mean, look at the pitching staff. Fantastic. Trevor Rogers is coming up to be the long reliever. Bullpen. Mason Miller is struggling. Let's see how he does. We can always turn to one of our other relievers. I know they're not the highest rated, but I have faith in them. Carson is struggling a little bit, but he's up to a 71, which is awesome to see. So I feel like we're looking solid. Offensively, I definitely think we are a little lackluster still I know. But Yastrzemski becomes a free agent, so we'll look for a new big name outfielder. Matos can come up and help us out if need be, but like we definitely can look to spend money this offseason because we're gonna have some money. I guess I could get rid of Robbie Ray. He's going up in rating and he's actually having a decent year. It's just for 23 mil, man. That's so much money. And I feel like we can get someone similar production for like half the price. Was it 23? I feel like we can. I mean, like even looking at the block, like maybe like Bailey Ober, I feel like I could get, like someone that's gonna give me similar production and has better potential and is younger. I feel like that's way better. I don't want Tyone, bad contract right now, especially in the game, because he doesn't really improve too much more. Zach Little, no. Nick Martinez, no. I'll take a quick peek. We'll see. I do think he's doing well. I don't really feel like the need to like change him, but like maybe in the offseason just to open up a little bit more money for the team. Because like I'm looking at it, I guess I could look to see who's in like last place. Rockies, Nationals, White Sox, Athletics, and Blue Jays. How far are the Blue Jays out? Ooh, the Blue Jays are out, and so are the Orioles. Do the Blue Jays have somebody that like we might be able to steal away? Gosman, no. Yeah, he's also regressing, and his contract's also going to be pretty high. Jake Junis, I don't really. His contract's expiring. Could I do that? Like straight up swap? I can't. Kikuchi, no. The White Sox, no. Guardians, no. Tigers, no. Royals, no. Yeah, I feel like we just leave it. We leave it because I don't really see anybody that like has an expiring contract that I feel like we need to go out and get. And I feel like that's what I would want, an expiring contract. I don't want. He was really bad last year. I'm gonna pass. I'm gonna leave it. Here's our draft. Pedroza has 95 potential, solid 63 overall, B potential for Cummins. We have Sato with 59 overall B potential, A potential for Park, and Flaherty has B potential as well. Everybody has above 86 potential, which is awesome to see. Let me go find those other players we looked at just to see what we missed out on. So Wayland Cortez is 64 overall, kind of has that typical outfielder build. That's a really short player, good speed, bad fielding, good contact. This is like a standard MLB The Show outfielder build for a short player. It's crazy how like this is just the usual for an outfielder in MLB The Show. And then Seamus Clarkson wasn't as good potential wise, 81. It looks a little bit more well-rounded all across the board. So we missed out on him, but I feel like we did pretty good with our picks. And then the two-way player has C potential, like we kind of like wasn't going to be that high. It's 77. So, and his hitting stats are pretty abysmal. All right, I've yet to see a crazy two-way player. So if you've seen one, tweet me. I want to see it. Like I said, I saw a 93 overall draft pick the other day. Crazy. Season 2, we're once again a wild card team. We kind of choked at the end. We lost some games to the Dodgers that we really couldn't afford to do. We had a tough stretch here in the middle of August. So yeah, just kind of fell a little bit short. League leaders wise, Blake Snell had the most strikeouts. Quickly going through this, you can kind of see some outstanding players. Definitely need to make some changes to the team, see what we can do. Definitely need some more offense. That was an area that I knew was an issue. I thought we would be okay, and you know, we just weren't. So I think we definitely need to attack that aspect of the team this offseason and maybe just solidify a couple different spots. Like if we take a look at team rankings, you can kind of see we were 8th for batting average, but if you look at runs, we were 18th. So again, we're not producing a lot of runs. We're not getting those runs in. And just to kind of see where we are home runs wise, we are 22nd. So yeah, we need pop, we need run producers, but pitching wise, we are the best team in baseball on paper. So there's that. Ohtani beat out Olsen and Harper for the MVP. Aaron Judge won it on the other side. Christian Javier, okay. And Tyler Glasnow as your Cy Young winners. Corbin Carroll and Tucker are the batting title winners. And then Duran and Diaz are the relievers of the year. Finishing it off with Pages as rookie of the year, beating out Justin Clark. Looks like a pretty good first baseman for the Reds draft pick, 18 years old. And Victor Mesa Jr., what a throwback. Victor Mesa and his brother Victor. Salazar, D potential, rookie of the year. Okay. Wyatt Langford finished second, and Xavier Tyler finished third. Another draft pick, it looks like. All right. So looking at this, it looks like a position player was sent down. Let's just figure out who it was really quick. It was Ahmed Rosario and Tom Murphy, maybe. I think that's fine. Let's sort that out. Also, Tom Murphy was sent down, but he had 2 ABs all season, so it's not really that big of an issue. But looking at our pitching first, let's see. Yeah, this is our long reliever. We've got it set. You know, we've got 2 more years of ARB. It's perfect. Like, he looks solid. Hunter Harvey becomes a free agent, and I was looking for like 1 or 2 seasons from him. He gave it to us. Will I bring him back? Maybe. We'll see. We'll see what the market's like. Leclerc, better than last year. Love to see it. Put him in that middle relief spot. Looking good. Merriweather brought his ERA down a bunch. Oh, wait. He only pitched like 6 innings, huh? I think he was at like 41 when we brought him in. Maybe a little bit less, but went up a little bit. We've got arbitration for 1 more season. Not a bad pickup. Mason Miller brought his ERA down, which is good. Strom's potential went up and overall and had a good season. Love that. And then Duvall, yeah, give me more of that. Looking at our starters now, Blake Snell is going to be expensive, and this is kind of looking like what we're going to get from him. Will I pay the same amount of money? I hope I don't have to, but I'd like to bring him back to the team. Corbin Burns was fantastic once again. We've got Logan Webb. I mean, that 1-2-3 is unbelievable. Probably one of the best in baseball. We've got Robbie Ray, who, again, am I upset with the numbers he's putting up? No. I'm upset with the price tag. It's a little high. And then Kyle Harrison. I mean, this guy's moving up the charts. He's definitely my 4 now, 100%. Just quickly, Carson's up to a 71. Still don't think he's ready just yet. Graham Ashcraft came up, gave us 16 innings of pretty bad baseball. So I feel like this one's a miss. This is probably my bad trade of the rebuild for sure. And Tristan Beck is up to a 70, which is good. We'll see if we can get him into the squad moving forward. I think that's really about it. Oh, Hayden Birdsong's a 70. Something to keep an eye on. I don't think Reggie Crawford is going to cut it. Just hitting wise and also pitching wise, he's been pretty Eldridge is up to a 69, which is pretty cool. We've got Matos up to a 70. Loperfido, who we picked up, is up to a 71. He had a really good year in AAA. Morales up to a 71. Arias is up to a 68, which is good to see. And then we're going to call up Luciano again. I'm just going to give him the reins to shortstop for the foreseeable future. Not even going to worry about it anymore. Slater, getting on base. I'm perfectly happy with that. I don't know if I'm going to bring him back. It's not really looking like he's improving too much more or regressing. Kind of staying the same. It's just like, I feel like Luis Matos versus lefties. Let's see what he can do. You know what I mean? Patrick Bailey, great bounce back year. Only facing lefties. Like I said, we could try him versus righties. It's just those numbers look pretty bad. And we have Blake Sable, who hits righties well, so might as well use the platoon. David Villar came up, got 43 at-bats, and was pretty good. So I think this is a guy we can rely on for the bench moving forward. Ahmed Rosario, I gave him the full-time job. Didn't really do much with it. We'll just decline the option, go in a different direction. Wilmer Flores, we're going to salute to you. Head off into the sunset or with a new team, whichever. I just feel like we've got the best out of him. Let's go spend the money somewhere else, even though he's been $5.5 million, super cheap. Young Hooli at the top of the lineup, fantastic. Love to see that number. Definitely need to move Thairo Estrada down a little bit in the lineup, but he is still putting up an okay season. So like, I'm not really freaking out about it that much. Would I like a little bit better? Sure. Like, especially with on base percentage. Get me around the 340 mark. We're looking solid. Matt Chapman. What are we paying him? 18 mil. I guess it's not terrible, but it's not great, you know. Soler, 26 home runs. Okay, we've got one more year. This is probably like our last year with some of these guys, so we've really got to figure it out. Yastrzemski, we'll look for a replacement. How did Noda do? Okay, not bad, not bad. Luciano definitely struggled. We've already talked about that. Sable, like I said, hits righties well. Patrick Bailey versus left, perfect situation for catcher. And then Jesus Sanchez, again, I would like the on-base percentage to be a little bit higher, but it looks like 16 home runs is like the team average. So let's get some power into this lineup. Let's head into the offseason against the Braves. Talk about a tough lineup to face, man. Logan Webb, and we beat them anyways. Are you serious? Are you serious? All right, so we'll let Harrison go just because I have a feeling my other starters are a little bit tired. But against the Phillies, how are we going to do? Wow, Blake Snell, really? You're trying to earn a contract and you're out here doing that? We win the next one. Logan Webb lose. It comes down to, it's not going to be Robbie Ray. Kyle Harrison. Here we go. Boom. Kyle Harrison wins it, man. We're taking on division rival, the Diamondbacks. Everybody move up a spot. Ooh, this should be... I think I messed it up. I think I definitely messed it up. Who's pitching here? Corbin Burns. I did not mess it up. So Burns. Ooh, I did mess it up. It's supposed to be Snell, Burns, Webb, Harrison. There we go. Perfect. Can we do it? Losing the second's kind of tough, but we win the third, win the fourth. Robbie Ray loses. It comes down to our two top pitchers. Corbin Burns, thank you. Thank you. Taking on the Twins in the World Series in season 2 is awesome. Logan Webb is going to take the mound. And then we're going to go Snell, Burns, Harrison. I think that's what we want. Snell, man, I need you to wake up. It is the World Series. I need you, man. I need you. Let's see the team here. Okay, so Rodriguez has been called up. Okay. So is Gonzalez. So let's, okay. Well, it's a Twins team. Walker Jenkins has also been called up. James McCann's still in the league, apparently. And then looking at their pitchers, they brought in Max Fried. This is a good team. Yeah, that's a good team. This is going to be a tough matchup. Lose the first, win the second, win the third, win the fourth. I feel like Robbie Ray, sure. Yeah. Give me that World Series. Wilmer, talk about a send-off. Thank you, Wilmer. Thank you. And then playoff MVP Matt Chapman. Oh, Wilmer was just hitting 500 with 1 RBI. That is your that's the World Series MVP. Chapman had a great postseason. Noda had a great postseason. Young Hooli had a great postseason. How did Blake Snell end up finishing? He brought his ERA down, what, like 2 from 7 to 5. But looking at the rest of the pitchers, Robbie Ray had a really good postseason. The bullpen, yeah, I'm happy with that for sure. Offensively, Estrada struggled. I said I wanted to bring him down in the lineup, which we will for next season. But for the most part, everybody contributed besides Estrada. So I'm happy with the team. Season 2, World Series. Off-season, offense. That's what I'm looking for. That's really about it. So I'm going to take this option for Strom. The potential went up. The overall went up. That's huge. Wilmer, like I said, what does he want? If he wants like 7, let's see what else is on the market. Hunter Harvey, let's see what else is on the market. Decline the option for Rosario, and then everybody else can go. Thank you, Yastrzemski. You've been a fantastic servant to the club. We just need to go in a little bit younger direction. It opens up a bunch of money. Blake Snell. All right, let's go. He only wants 25 mil if we go to 5 years. I can backload that. Maybe let's go 5. Just so that he's here for the rest of the rebuild, even though we have 3 years left. But if I go 3, he's going to want a lot more money. So we'll go 5. It'll be around 27 mil. Ooh, we have him at 29. Let's bring that down a little bit. Let's bring that down. Let's go 45. It'll be 29 on the dot. So it's a little bit cheaper than what we're currently paying him. It'll be backloaded too, so the big money won't come until after the rebuild. Yep, I'm thinking smart. And let's see what happens. Do we have the right staff? That is also an important thing. We have our staff. Perfect. All right. Blake Snell became a free agent. We'll keep an eye on that, but I'll make sure I bring him back. But offense, first base, we could go Vlad. Josh Naylor's not a bad option at first base. I know we have Noda, so it's not necessarily my biggest concern. An outfielder for sure. I know we've got that young guy, but an Ibar. But like I think he's one that'll definitely just slide into the team at some point. So I think a right fielder is a big must, and maybe just like an extra DH something. So we've got Naylor at first, but if we're looking for outfielders, Kyle Tucker. I mean, that's the best available option if we're looking at. I mean, realistically, not a lot of offense in this. So Kyle Tucker might be the move. All right, season 4, here we go. We're ranked 5th. As you can see, contact power, defense not great. It's the pitching that's carrying us. And realistically, it was just like one of those where it's like, I didn't want to go too crazy spending money, even though we're going to have a lot of money next year. We lose Robbie Ray, so we're going to need a pitcher unless Carson Whisenhunt pops off, right? Matt Chapman also becomes a free agent. Honestly, I'd be okay with letting him walk. Solaire's a free agent. Tyro Estrada's a free agent. So there's a couple pieces that we're going to need to replace. And I feel like we're coming off a World Series. I feel like we've improved the team. I mean, look at this pitching staff. Robbie Ray, I expect some regression. So either we can trade for somebody or we'll call up one of these two. Realistically, I think we trade for somebody, which is okay. We've got the pieces to make a move possible. I brought him back. I was looking for like just a reliever that could potentially give me half a season, a whole season. And if we really need to, Tristan Beck, Ryan Walker could come up, help us out if needed. Even Keaton Wynn potentially. So there's a couple guys that could come up. I didn't want to like completely blow up the bullpen and just start calling people up, getting rid of people, things like that. I like the bullpen. I like our pitching staff. It was one of the best in baseball last year. Offensively, Sanchez, Matos, Bailey, VR, and Castro, a new addition, is going to be the bench. I think that's a decent bench. And then this is currently the lineup. I don't really have anybody that I would like to go Tucker in the 2 spot, but I don't want to go 2 lefties to start the game off. So I think we're going to rock like this. Tucker was brought in on a big boy contract. Kind of expected that, right? That was like a person that I was really going for, and we got him. That was kind of the big thing there. I mean, the team still looks insane. I thought about going after another big name, but I kind of like the team, and I feel like we're looking okay. Josh Naylor, definitely looked at possibly signing him, but then I thought about potentially just going with, we could go with Loperfido, we can go with Bryce Eldridge if he starts to do really well, develop. I signed Michael Massey. Could be Massey. He doesn't look bad. Could help us out off the bench. And then looking at the rest of the team, you can kind of see Otto Lopez. I don't know if he'll do anything, but he's probably a bench bat. I don't even know why I brought him up. But the team looks good. Noda, let's see how he does this year. But I think a first baseman's probably an area that I should have targeted. But besides like Josh Naylor, I just felt like we could do something a little different. Luciano's got the starting position along with Ibar. So I like the team. We're about to lose Soler and a couple others, Chapman, Estrada. So like that's kind of also why I didn't want to spend a lot of money, because if there's some big names in free agency this year, I could go out and get that crazy good third baseman, that crazy good second baseman, or that crazy good first, third, or second. Yeah. So our infield could look a lot different next year depending on how things go. So let's see what happens. We're still really highly ranked. We still got some money to play with in the offseason. I'm liking it. All right, I'm going to pick up Matt Shaw of the Cubs. I'm actually really high on Matt Shaw. The guy hits the ball really hard, and I need a new second baseman. So he might play second base for me. Works out. He's doing really well in AAA. Thairo Estrada, I'm not necessarily kicking him out just yet, but he's not doing great. And yeah, we're at the deadline, so I need some magic. I looked at also, who was the other name that I looked at? Oh, the Mets. Ronnie Mauricio. He looks good. Maybe I do go Ronnie Mauricio. Switch hitter, could play second base. Or do I go for the project? I guess we are trying to win right now. Maybe Ronnie Mauricio, and if need be, we could always go Matt Shaw for a different situation, because like right now Matt Shaw clearly is a little bit behind on Ronnie Mauricio's development. So, and he is a little bit, I think he's a little bit younger. He might not be actually. Hold on. 25, what, maybe a year younger. So we'll just go Ronnie Mauricio for this one. Ethan Small, Yohandy Morales, and Devin Mann. That's the trade. Okay, Ronnie Mauricio. I'm looking at the trade block. I do need a pitcher. And I don't know why I picked Kerry Carpenter. Jared Triolo is still popping off. I need to get him at some point. I do need a third baseman. I think Matt Chapman's having a good year though, but like I don't know if I want to bring him back. Like this season wasn't bad, and honestly, like it looks like he's probably gonna finish around the same. I looked at the contract extension. He wants about 10 mil. He has 19 home runs. How many does Triolo have? Okay, so he's really similar stat lines. It's just he has a higher average and a higher OPS, slightly, a little bit higher on base percentage too, and has been good for the last couple seasons. It is also going to be cheaper. So honestly, at third base, I'm thinking about doing it. Like I said, Chapman's been great, but like I'm not going to keep him. I can get him just like that. What if I went crazy? He's not been great. Okay, I was going to get O'Neal Cruz, but he hasn't been fantastic. So I don't really want to force it if it isn't going to be great. And then let's see what other players do they have? Anybody that's like, hey, I should probably get them. Maybe just throw in like Guzman, and I can throw in Toribio, and we'll make it a trade. I know you're probably thinking that's crazy. Why would you trade Matt Chapman? He's doing well. Let's try out Triolo. I've been wanting to try him out. He looks fantastic, and we're gonna rock like that. And then I have one more trade in mind, and it was Nick Lodolo. I know I kind of did a little curveball at you. I was like, oh, I need pitching. Just kidding. I'm going to trade for Jared Triolo. No, I'm going to trade for Nick Lodolo, keeping the low at the end of it. He's having a great season. Wasn't great last year. So we'll see what happens. He's just not difficult to trade for. And that's what I'm liking. They want Robbie Ray and Michael Byrne. So, yeah. So after the trade, this is the team. I feel like Marco Luciano needs to break up these lefties a little bit. So maybe something like that. He's actually having a good year. He's hit 262 with the 350 on base percentage. Love it. 24 years old. Yeah. So Triolo, Ronnie Mauricio is going to hop in the 2 spot. Soler's iffy on this season, so I'm going to take him out of the lineup versus righties. We're going to put Sanchez in. I'm actually taking him out versus lefties too, because if you look at VR and Soler's number, they're very similar, and VR's had 100 less ABs. So I'm just going to see what he can do. And this is currently our farm system. Eldridge is developing so quickly. So that's kind of why I'm like, do we really need a first baseman with Noda doing just fine? He's progressing really, really fast. So I like what I'm seeing there. I don't really think there's anybody else that I need to keep an eye on right now. Pitching wise, these two are doing okay. I like that. Jelly's also doing perfectly fine. And then the bullpen as a whole, like Harrison's struggling a little bit. Same thing with Rogers. But for the most part, we're doing well. We're having a tough season, but it looks like it's a very, very competitive West. We do have a wild card spot. So I'm hoping those moves push us into the playoffs even easier. All right. Again, 93-69, again, a wild card team. That's unfortunate. I feel like we just are in a really competitive division. I mean, we were basically the same record as last year, and we won the World Series. So Blake Snell, most strikeouts and the best WAR for a pitcher. And looking at these, Zach Geloff is somebody that I want. I was looking at him for a second baseman. He looks insane. He's so good in this game. It's crazy. And he's putting up these numbers while he still had beat potential. And he's now a 90 overall. Man, is that plus 12 versus lefties? Or is that 22? I think it's 12. Either way, crazy good season. And I probably should have traded for him at second base. I don't even know if I was going to be able to be honest. I was going to trade for him because I've actually had a trade made up, ready to go. And the reason I didn't trade for him was because I was like, you know what, let's get someone a little bit different. We went for Triolo instead. And then we also went for, who was the other player that we traded for? Now I'm forgetting. And it's only been like a couple minutes. It's literally just been a couple minutes and I don't remember who we traded for. Oh, Ronnie Mauricio, someone a little bit different. And it's not bad. It's not bad. It's definitely younger than Pena. I think Geloff would have been the better move. But we'll see. Cy Young, Blake Snell. There we go. Signed him on a big contract, brought him back to the team. Won a Cy Young. Matt Olson won MVP along with Adolis Garcia, who I believe it's free agency. Will I bring him into the team? No, but interesting to note. McClanahan and Snell, Cy Young winners. You've got Corbin Carroll and Zach Geloff. Hold on. Did that say Cole Irving? Okay. All right. That is what I saw. Bednar beat out Doval just barely. And then TJ Anton now with the Royals. Okay. Bobby Miller. That's not the Bobby Miller I was expecting, but the second baseman wins the Rookie of the Year for the Angels, and then Hurst Waldrop for the Braves. All right, Oliver Ibar was there as well. Pitching looks like it wasn't touched at all. We didn't really have a lot of pitchers to call up or on the 40-man that could be called up. So Trevor Rogers, again, really, really solid. We've got one more year of arbitration for him. He looks pretty good. Jose Leclerc, we have a team option for him? I think I'd take it. He looks pretty solid. He's been good for us. Merriweather also was decent. We'll see about the contract though. Tyler Rogers brought him back and he was unbelievable. Yes, I traded him while he had a crazy ERA last year. I was super worried about this happening. You know what? I said, let's bring him back. He pitched 22 innings. He was fantastic. Mason Miller, how we looking? I'll take it for sure. Love it. And then Strom with an expiring contract is starting to regress. So I think we've got our lefty. We're going to need a new one. Doval's doing well. We're going to have to figure out a contract extension for him because, yeah, 91 overall, we got to keep him. Sorry, my dog decided to burst into the office. I know you heard the tip taps of the claws on the hardwood. Sorry about that. Logan Webb as our ace. Fantastic. Love to see it. Snell is continuing to improve. This is the best I've seen Snell pitch in a rebuild all year so far. And I love that it's because we're using the Giants. Corbin Burns, no. What do we got for Harrison? A little bit of a struggle this season, but still a strong 4 in the rotation. And then Lodolo was also fantastic. So I'm happy with that pitching staff. What happened offensively? Jake Bowers, a guy that I signed in free agency, looks like he had a very minimal appearance in September, and he took over for, I don't know. Who did he take over for? Oh, Matos. What happened? Yeah, he just not doing it. So, okay. Estrada obviously got benched. Wasn't great. We're going to let him walk. Soler, kind of the same thing. Just he's starting to regress. So it's a good thing his contract expires. Patrick Bailey versus lefties. I think that's okay. We're not going to end up paying a lot of money for him. So, like, we're good. VR, honestly, I think is a really good bench bat for us against the lefties. The guy's hitting well. Might as well give him the opportunity. And then we have Bowers here. I just signed him for $2 million. We've got arbitration. I might bring him back. The dude's got some power. Why not? And then now looking at the starters, Young Hoo Lee continues to improve. He's 27 right now. Still got him for a few more seasons. He's getting on base. He's got a good average. That's what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for crazy numbers. I mean, he's hitting doubles. He's hitting a decent amount of home runs. He's stealing a decent amount of bases, not striking out a lot. I love it. Ronnie Mauricio, he'll improve. He's got a 340 on base percentage. I am happy. Triolo, let's see how he does moving forward. But I like this addition at third base. Tucker, yeah, give me more of that. I like those numbers for sure. Sanchez took over for Soler and honestly was pretty good. Do I give him this shot at DH? We'll have to wait and see how the market plays out. Blake Sabol was solid at catcher. Luciano, we talked about him. He had a really good step up in development as a hitter. Love to see it. He's a 76 now. Respectable attributes. Noda, potential, and overall went down. So I think first base, is either Bryce Eldridge or we're gonna look for a new spot. So he's all 60s. What's Eldridge? Kind of the same. Do we just say let's give it to Eldridge? Is it just his job or Lo Profito? I kind of want to give it to the young guy. Let's see what happens, and then we can spend the money on a DH, like a crazy bat. And then Ibar in left. I think the big thing with him is his on-base percentage and his average, to be honest. He just really didn't do crazy well. So, I mean, if a crazy player is available, I think we go for him. DH first base potentially. I think catcher's fine. Shortstop's fine. Maybe outfield. I don't know. I just feel like we don't really have anybody to step into a spot if need be. So maybe outfield and a power bat. Let's see what we can do against the Diamondbacks. We are eliminated right off the rip. All right, let's go to season 4. Let's see what we can do. The Twins end up winning the World Series. We saw their team. It was a very good team last year. So we know that they were definitely a team to watch out for moving forward. Kershaw is a Hall of Famer. And now I said I was going to take this option. Estrada can go. Strom can go. Soler, Merriweather. What do you want for a season? Like $3 million? I think that's worth picking up. I think that's maybe 3.5. I think that's a good deal. And then Rogers can go. He's under 70. We got to be smart with our money. So let's see really quickly. First base, just in case. Mountcastle, Yandy. How did Wilmer do this year? Not as good. Okay, good. We made the right decision. Second base, we just locked up. Third base, we just locked up. And shortstop, we don't need. We got Luciano, even though Hassan Kim is a good shortstop. So outfield bats, or just big bats in general. Not a lot of power in free agency. Kind of disappointing. Just, I mean, like, is Yandy the DH that we need for a season? It could be. Or it could also help us out at first base as a bridge for Eldridge to step in for season 5. And then we just let Ibar kind of do his thing, continue to develop. Because the stats are there. He's clearly going to be good enough. I think Yandy might be an okay bridge first baseman. And then let's bolster up this bullpen. There we go. Start off season 4. I'm going to pick up Jose Hernandez. Lefty relievers are really thin this year. Like I'll just show you just so you can have an idea. I'm right before arbitration, so I can't sign anybody that says none. Sam Hentges is an interesting one. He hasn't really pitched the last few seasons, so it's kind of tough to judge him. It could be good. Don't really want to get Ferguson. Don't really want to get Minter, Poche. We have Rogers. I looked at Perez because he just signed a contract. He hasn't been great either. I missed out on Alvarado. He took a 5-year deal instead of a 3-year deal, which is really annoying. That's tough. And then the other reliever that I went after was, who did I try to get and I didn't get him? Oh, Adbert Alzolay. He wasn't a lefty, but I tried to get him. He went back to the Cubs instead. So I'm looking for lefties. And I need one more. I just because. So like we could go with Zach Thompson. We know he can be good, but I'm trying to try out different ones. We've used Jose Hernandez in previous MLB The Shows, so let's see how he does this year. And because the trade is super easy to make, that's why I'm also doing this. So I'm gonna give them, who was it? It was Corey Joyce. So there we go. I guess I should point out that CPU drafted a really good outfielder in Tom Lane. That was really the only pick to highlight. And that's really about it. Like I said, I'm right before arbitration. And there's a couple names that like are interesting. Like Matt Chapman at $7 million is not a terrible bit of business. Cody Bellinger also is available. It's just I don't necessarily need him because I did bring in Yandy Diaz. I mean, Cody Bellinger could be the DH, or the DH could be Yandy, and then Cody Bellinger could play first. And then Yandy leaves. Eldridge comes in. If we're trying to win right now, Cody Bellinger might not be the worst. How old is he now? He is 31. Maybe like a 3-year, give him the player option, bump it up to 50. So that's what, 16.5 mil. We'll backload it. And what are we looking like money wise? It still gives us around 30 mil to play with. I don't think that's bad. Pitching, we are looking a little thin. I'm not going to lie. We are looking a little thin. But I mean, the rotation is still very good. The bullpen looks solid. I think that's a good move. All right, let's talk about this team. What are we looking like lineup wise? This is it. Yandy was brought in, 1-year deal, like I said, 15 mil. I'm going to take a shot with him. Hopefully he can just hold it down. I know he's 35. I just need one good year. That's what I'm looking for. Cody Bellinger, he's going to play first base for us, having some pretty decent seasons. Might as well bring him in. 16 mil over the next 3 years. Not bad. And then the rest of the team is the same. I'm liking this team. It's a little bit different. It's a lot of change. I mean, what? Young Lee, Sable, and Luciano are really the only 3 remaining Giants outside of Patrick Bailey, David Villar, and Otto Lopez. Yeah, a lot needed to change. Pitching wise though, Webb, Snell, Harrison, Doval. So like half the pitching staff is the same. Obviously we brought in Hernandez from the trade with the Pirates, but outside of that, it's gonna stay the same. The pitching's been really good. I don't want to change it. And this is currently what's going on here. Starting pitching wise, Birdsong is overtaking Carson. Like, what is going on with the development there? Is crazy how quickly Birdsong has developed compared to Carson, which is super disappointing. So we'll see how it plays out. I mean, if we take a look at AAA, we do still have Eldridge here, you know, Arias, and a few others, but we'll see how it goes. I think this offense is definitely good enough to compete. Maybe swap some things around here. I might leave it. Let's leave it as is. I like the team. We're ranked second. Our worst thing is our speed. So there's that. Once again, a wild card team, 95 wins. So we're still kind of hovering around that spot. Dodgers won 5 more than us, which is super tough. We do have the #1 spot in the wild card, taking on the Phillies, league leaders, Logan Webb with the best whip. And if we take a look at awards really quickly, Olsen won MVP back-to-back, and Soto with the Guardians. I forgot that happened. Yeah, he's getting to different teams in these rebuilds. Otani won Cy Young. We've got Brian Bayo on the AL side. Batting title went to Soto and Olsen. Jojo Romero, reliever of the year. Gregory Santos, also reliever of the year. And Jesus Santiago with the Mariners, 31 home runs. Was your rookie of the year for the AL side. On the other side, it was Ned Risser. He looks pretty good. I don't know how this stat line's beaten out. They were all pretty bad. I don't know what happened there. Either way, there's that. Team stats wise, where are we ranking? 7th for batting average. What about runs? 9th. Okay, so better offensively. And if we're looking at our pitching really quickly, what do we got? The best pitching in baseball. Love it. All right. Taking a look at the team. It was basically our standard squad. Trevor Rogers struggled a little bit, but nothing too crazy, right? Like, he's still kind of hovering around like a 4 ERA. I'm okay with that. Merriweather was really good, even though he regressed. So awesome to see that. Mason Miller was solid. We got Genesis Cabrera, I totally forgot to mention that I signed him to a 1-year deal. I probably should have put him in the setup role because it looks like that's where he kind of does his best work. But yeah, he really struggled this year. 1-year deal, probably not going to bring him back. Tristan Beck got called up, didn't pitch at all, which means Jose Hernandez got sent down. Okay, that's fine. We can let Tristan Beck pitch, and then Leclerc on his last year of his contract is regressing, but he still had a really good season. I'm happy about that. Doval, yeah, give me more of that, and we will have more of that after I extended his contract for 3 years, just shy of 14 mil a season. If we take a look at our starters, we've got Logan Webb here with a 3.25 ERA. He's been fantastic. We got 1 more year of him, which is perfect because it's the last year of the rebuild. Blake Snell continues to do well. He is regressing a little bit. Still have him for another couple seasons, but you know what? He's been fantastic. Love it. Might see some really rough season next year, but we'll see. Corbin Burns, I'll take it. He held his rating. Love it. And then Kyle Harrison, how we looking? Respectable. Lodolo, also very respectable, and also extended his contract for a few years for the future. Overall, team's looking fantastic. Yeah, I'm going to leave it as is for the postseason. Offensively, the only player that was sent down was David Villar. Just didn't have the same oomph this season compared to last year. Even though he does look decent versus lefties, we'll probably give him another shot. Bryce Eldridge, I'll give you a shot next year. We'll give him a shot next year. This kind of been the plan. Noda didn't really do much off the bench. Jesus Sanchez did though, so I'm really happy we kept him. He does become a free agent. Let's kind of see what the market is for him, because I feel like I can get him pretty cheaply. Patrick Bailey continues to kind of sit around this as our lefty hitting catcher, or our catcher that hits lefties. Otto Lopez was our backup like infielder, and he was okay. I'm okay with that. And then of course Jake Bowers got called up for VR in September, didn't get an AB. Young Lee continues to do very well, has a career high in home runs. Love that. We've got Kyle Tucker, who 44 home runs, 412 on base percentage, And then Yandy Diaz is regressing a little bit. Like I said, it was a 1-year deal. I'm happy with that production. Cody Bellinger, yeah, this might have been a mistake. This might have been my second mistake of the rebuild. Blake Sable looks like he's regressing, so I might let Patrick Bailey just take over the catcher spot. We'll see. Maybe he has a little bounce back. Well, I'll give him another shot though. Triolo, not as good as previous years, but like it's still respectable. Good on base percentage, good average, just not the same pop as before. Ronnie Mauricio definitely let me down this year. That's disappointing. And then Marco Luciano also had a little bit of a sophomore slump. Ibar improved slightly, but these three at the bottom of the lineup definitely weren't the best. Heading into the postseason against the Phillies, we are out. Who wins it? The Dodgers. What a surprise. Have they made any changes to their lineup? Let's take a quick little peek, see what we're looking like. They have brought in Bohm and David Schneider. Okay. Everson Pereira as well. Okay. Matt Chapman, how did he do this season? 37 games. Wasn't great. Yeesh. Gavin Stone is now a 91. Wow. Yamamoto, Miller, Glasnow. Okay. Team's looking good. Team's looking good. It's understandable. So final season, I definitely need to do something because we haven't really been in the competition for the World Series. Like, we definitely need to step it up. So I'm going to let those two go, and Diaz and Cabrera. Let's see what Sanchez wants for a season. Maybe. I'll think about it. Leclerc can walk. I'm going to bring back Rogers because like he's been really good for us. I'll give him 9 mil, which is 4.5, and then Merriweather can go. So really Rogers is the only one that I'm looking to bring back. And now Eldridge is definitely going to get added because he's probably going to be my first baseman, or DH, I should say. And looking at this might be an issue. Ibar, Luciano, Mauricio. So I might have to add a second baseman or an outfielder because Ibar's just not doing it. Honestly, this is going to sound crazy. I might like let Jake Bowers play left field. It's so crazy, but like I really might. And then like Jelly looks decent. Yar's been okay. Like I feel like that might be the move. Just letting Eldridge and Bowers go. Maybe we don't have a lot of money too, so that's another issue. I can't really afford to spend a lot. The final season, and as you can see, ranked second, 5th in contact, 13th in power, 1st in pitching, and 5th in defense. The speed, yeah, we're pretty slow. It's all right. Lineup wise, you can kind of see what we've got going on here. Otto Lopez, Mauricio, Bowers, Patrick Bailey, David Villar. It's a decent bench. I think this is probably the strongest bench we've had so far. And you're probably thinking, why is Mauricio on the bench? Geraldo Perdomo was available on a pretty decent contract at 17.5 mil. And I was looking at our team a little bit, and I was kind of seeing like what our second base situation's looking like. And I had Michael Massey here, or Macy, and he doesn't look bad. He doesn't, but it wasn't Geraldo Perdomo. You know what I mean? And you can kind of see our farm system's not looking that great for that position. Or third base, Ramon Lopez doesn't look terrible, but he's not going to get into the team for season 5. And then same thing with shortstop. We had Otto Lopez, but he's not really a starter either. Realistically, the only like prospect that I thought was close to being MLB ready was Freddie Guzman because of the hitting stats. But even still, I was like, we don't really need another first baseman in the team. So we're going to rock like this. Cody Bellinger might even just suck this year, so we might need to find somebody else. Guzman comes into play, and we also have a lot of lefties. So there's that. Marco Luciano just moves to second base. Realistically, he's only there because I have so many lefties in this lineup. You know, Ibar's here. We've got Eldridge. So like, it looks good. I mean, even the versus lefties lineup looks really strong too. So like, it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. I don't really know what to expect. So it could be really good. It could be really bad. I really have faith in this part of the team, the pitching. Good rotation. The bullpen is a little weak with Beck and Walker there. Literally every reliever I was trying to get just went somewhere else for a longer contract. I offered who did I go after? It was oh man, who did I go after? I know for a fact I tried to bring back Genesis Cabrera because I wanted another lefty, and then I think I tried to go for Tanner Scott. Then he also turned me down for like a 3-year contract. Cabrera, I think, also went for like a 5-year deal. So like, I just couldn't get them back into the team. And then at that point, by the time I started missing out on some other options, I really just selected Andres Munoz as one that we could get in. I got him on a $7 million deal, which isn't too bad. But to have both of these guys in the bullpen, it's a little tough, and we don't really have too many others that could step up right now. A couple on waivers, but like nothing too crazy. So bullpen could be an issue. That could be the deciding factor with this team, because otherwise the team looks fantastic. So let's see how this final season plays out. To get a wild card team, 97 and 65, and we're a wild card team, which is absolutely unfortunate. The Diamondbacks were just crazy this year, which is like they were just insane. And I looked at their lineup, and they're good. They've been competing with us every season, but like I guess they're good. Yeah, I mean, Edmundo Sosa was unbelievable for them this year, which is crazy because he hasn't come anywhere close to that production this entire rebuild or this entire save, and now all of a sudden he's good. What? I mean, what, 240 was their worst hitter? I mean, they drafted this guy, got lucky with him because he's going to be good. They've got David Kwan, who they also drafted, which he's going to be good. I mean, they've drafted well too. Pitching just looks solid. Yeah, I mean, that's a good team. I'm assuming the Dodgers are probably the same too. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a good team. It's a good team. Pitching, they got Elijah Green in there too. The pitching looks unbelievable. Yeah, it's just a tough division. League leaders wise, Kyle Harrison has the most wins, which is awesome to see. Looks like Shohei batted very, very well. Speaking of batting very, 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 very well, look at Corbin Carroll. Look at his on base percentage every single year. Good Lord, that's insane. Edward Julian is also another guy who just pops off every single season. Looking at some of the other league leaders, Shohei had a crazy season. 222 hits, is that what it is? 62 doubles and 48 home runs while having 10 triples. That's gross. Those are just crazy numbers. Dane Street, the guy that we were potentially going to draft, ended up having a crazy season with 13 home runs. Oh, just kidding. 13 triples, 28 home runs, and 27 doubles. Yeah, that's a good year. That is a very good year. Lester Beavers also had a great amount of triples in the season. Interesting. Two names that we had on our radar throughout the draft. So it's good to know we got some good eye for talent. Except for the Graham Ashcraft trade. That still happened. Grayson Rodriguez had the best ERA, and Glasnow had it in the NL. All right, awards. Rookie of the Year. That's cool. Shohei won MVP along with Aaron Judge. You've got Grayson Rodriguez and Tyler Glasnow winning it. Okay, Gavin Williams, I see you. Corey Lewis. Okay. Batting title went to Julian and Ohtani, and then Tanner Scott, who I tried to sign him. I only gave him a 1-year deal, and that's why he took the 2-year deal to go to the Diamondbacks. All right. Felix Bautista was another name I considered, but I just didn't want to pay like 13 mil. And Cabrera, he signed a 4-year deal. Yeah, I wasn't giving him that, and he had a very good season. So Winkowski won reliever of the year on the other side. Brock Porter was rookie of the year for the Rangers. Real life prospect, finally gets his debut. Had a really good season. And Bryce Eldridge, we talked about him. I said we were going to get him into the team. Look what happens. Has a really good season, almost a 280 average with a 355 on base percentage, just shy of 800 OPS. Yeah, I mean, that's good. Kevin Alcantara, okay. He has dreads, but I'll let that slide. All right, looking at this, there was one pickup that had a very, very bad season, and it was Andres Munoz, unfortunately. Super disappointing there. If we're looking at the rest of our relievers, I think that might be it, because I didn't really work with anybody. Oh, I should have gave Keaton Wynn a shot. That's my bad. Josh Dell came up for a little bit. Looks like he struggled. I called him up in September, and I thought, you know what? Let's give him a shot. Let's see how that works out. There was another person. Oh, Carson got his debut. How did it go? Really good. 11 innings, 11 strikeouts, 3 holds. Okay. Nice. I like it. I think that's about it in terms of changes there. So Trevor Rogers, long reliever, was unbelievable. Holy cow. He was insane. Whoa. 1.77 ERA. Munoz, we talked about, he struggled. We've got Jose Hernandez, who was good. Another good lefty to pick up. Ryan Walker really struggled. So we might actually turn to Carson Whisenhunt out of the bullpen. Might be a smart move. Tristan Beck also struggled a little bit. Mason Miller was fantastic. And of course, Doval Yeah, he's been great this entire rebuild. Looking at our starters, we're starting to see some 4 ERAs creep in, which is not what you want to see, especially when you're trying to win a World Series in your last season. Lodolo was good though. Lodolo was very good, and so was Kyle Harrison. So realistically, we might end up going something like this just based off of performances. All right, lineup. We looked at Arias' numbers, 32 at bats. We're gonna keep him in the postseason squad. Same with Matos. So I sent down Jake Bauers. I believe that's who I sent down. Mauricio, and then we got Massey. So yeah, Bauers. I just felt like, you know what, we've got our extra first baseman with Bailey or Bellinger or Eldridge. We're fine there, and then we'll have our middle infielders with Mauricio and Macy, and then Matos and Arias could be the outfielders. But running Mauricio, he was okay. Didn't get a lot of ABs, but he was solid. He was solid. I'll definitely take that. Patrick Bailey, we looked at briefly. Basically what we've been accustomed to, and then obviously he didn't get any ABs this season because he was mostly a AAA player. But Young-Hoo Lee keeps delivering. Love it. Kyle Tucker was a great addition for us. Just the power, the RBIs, the run production, the on base percentage has been fantastic. Triolo back on top of that 800 OPS 833 with a 290 average. Bellinger wasn't great. I think he needs to move down a little bit, and maybe Bryce Eldridge is in this spot for the postseason. We'll see if he can handle it. Blake Sable, yeah. Marco Luciano also kind of let me down. These two, not great. But if we take a look at Cody Bellinger, also not great. Perdomo was fantastic though. Good on base percentage, good average, 42 doubles, 20 stolen bases, love it. And then Ibar, better, a lot better. Career year easily. So this is gonna be the team. Let's see how we do in the postseason. Taking on the Dodgers, which is a tough matchup. Yeah, I mean, come on, Harrison. Dang. So we lost in the wild card every year except for the year we won the World Series. Wow. Tough. So there it is. The Giants rebuild. One World Series, not bad. I mean, we built up a really good team. Sadly, we just couldn't get past the wild card. And if we did, we won a World Series. So we just couldn't get past the wild card. But I thought we built a really good team. I hope you enjoyed it. Thumbs up if you did. Subscribe to the channel if you're new and enjoyed the content. And of course, get in the comment section. Let me know what video is next. And if you're looking for more rebuild content, you should check out the video on screen now. I think you'll really enjoy it. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.